Multiple sources confirm Shedeur Sanders stormed out of the Browns facility yesterday afternoon after Kevin Stefanski's shocking decision to bench him for Dillon Gabriel. Team insiders report Sanders told teammates he's done with Cleveland before leaving, cutting off communication with coaches and ignoring front office attempts to reconcile. What started as a quarterback controversy has now erupted into full-blown organizational chaos. This represents a complete organizational meltdown, threatening to dismantle everything the Browns claim to have built. For those tracking this powder keg since training camp, the explosion was long predicted, yet no one prevented it. Reports indicate the incident unfolded during morning quarterback meetings, where Kevin Stefanski allegedly informed Shedeur Sanders in private that Dillon Gabriel would start against Baltimore, citing performance, consistency, and system execution. Sources say Sanders listened in silence, gave a single nod, and walked out without a word. Minutes later, chaos spilled into the locker room, where Sanders gathered his belongings as veteran teammates tried desperately to intervene. "Don't waste your breath," Sanders reportedly told teammates. "I'm finished playing these games." Security footage allegedly captured him leaving the facility at 11:47 a.m., and he hasn't returned since. The timing is critical. This marks Kevin Stefanski's second benching of Sanders this season. The first came back in Week 3, following a string of costly primetime interceptions. Yet just 2 weeks later, in Week 5, Sanders returned with a statement game against Cincinnati, delivering a spectacular performance that appeared to lock down his starting role for good until now. Yet here we are again. Sources suggest Kevin Stefanski never truly committed to Shedeur Sanders, despite pressure from ownership, marketing demands, and the expectations of a restless fan base. Stefanski reportedly sees Dillon Gabriel as his quarterback, while Sanders has been treated as ownership's project. That philosophical divide created an unsustainable dynamic, one that has now exploded spectacularly. The immediate fallout is already reshaping the Browns' locker room. Veteran players are said to be deeply divided, offensive weapons largely rallying behind Sanders for his playmaking, leadership, and competitive fire, while the offensive line backs Stefanski, stressing discipline, accountability, and organizational structure. Defensive players have tried to remain neutral, though privately many admit they're exhausted by the endless drama. One Pro Bowl defender reportedly told insiders off the record, "We're trying to win games while management plays politics. It's impossible." The second wave of fallout hit the fan base. Within minutes, social media erupted into a digital war zone, #FreeShedeur trending nationally, #FireStefanski gaining momentum by the hour, and #Start12 emerging as the rallying cry of Browns faithful. Season ticket holders are now threatening cancellations, while early reports suggest team merchandise sales could take a sharp nosedive. One prominent Browns podcaster declared, "Stefanski just signed his termination papers. You don't bench generational talent twice and survive." Another influential voice added, "This franchise deserves every disappointment coming. Absolute incompetence." This is where the complications intensify. Ownership dynamics are now in full crisis mode. Jimmy Haslam was reportedly apoplectic after learning of Sanders' departure through social media rather than official organizational channels. Sources say an emergency ownership meeting was convened within hours, with Haslam demanding direct explanations from Stefanski. General manager Andrew Berry now finds himself trapped between defending his coach's decision and managing the owner's growing fury. Reports indicate Jimmy Haslam personally attempted to contact Shedeur Sanders, but his messages went unanswered. The owner is now said to be questioning whether Kevin Stefanski deliberately sabotaged the franchise's cornerstone. This situation has moved far beyond a routine coaching decision. According to insiders, Stefanski views himself as defending the integrity of professional football against the creeping influence of celebrity culture. He's reportedly exhausted from watching a carefully constructed team culture erode under external pressures, social media frenzy, and ownership interference. To him, the benching is a philosophical stand: system over stardom, consistency over highlights, discipline over marketability. Noble principles, perhaps, but under these circumstances potentially career-ending. Meanwhile, Sanders' perspective deserves equal weight. A fifth-round selection, he was immediately thrust into the starting role by ownership's decree and, given the circumstances, performed admirably. Through 8 games, he's posted a 67% completion rate with 18 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Hardly flawless, but more than respectable for a rookie navigating a dysfunctional situation. More than numbers, Sanders brought energy to the franchise. Jersey sales skyrocketed, primetime slots returned to Cleveland, and for once, national attention focused on the Browns in a positive light. He delivered everything except Stefanski's approval. Sources close to Sanders now describe a deeper frustration. The sense of being constantly undermined. Every mistake Sanders made was magnified, while every success was diminished. Sources claim practice reps were quietly tilted toward Gabriel during evaluation periods, play calling grew conservative when Sanders started but aggressive under Gabriel, and team meetings included subtle digs about better preparation. Sanders read the signals clearly. The coaching staff never wanted him, only tolerated ownership's mandate. The timing couldn't be worse. The Browns sit one game off a playoff spot with a softening schedule ahead, and division rival Baltimore coming to town on national TV this Sunday. The stakes are enormous, yet the franchise is in total chaos, starting quarterback uncertain, locker room fractured, ownership furious, coaching staff defiant, and the media circus at full tilt, and the fallout isn't just competitive, it's financial. Sanders' marketability transcends typical quarterback value, and losing him could cost the Browns far beyond wins and losses. Sanders' influence extends far beyond the field. His social media following eclipses that of the entire Browns roster combined. Documentary crews trail his every move. Endorsement deals multiply weekly. Jerseys with his number outsell the next 5 players combined. Local businesses even report spikes in traffic on game days, directly tied to his presence. As one downtown restaurant owner put it, he saved our season. People come to watch him play. The economics cannot be ignored, especially for a franchise that has long struggled with relevance. National perception has shifted, too. ESPN analysts are dissecting the saga relentlessly. One prominent voice labeled Stefanski's choice career suicide. Another quipped, "He's coaching like it's 1995, you don't bench a marketable young star in today's NFL without paying the price." The modern NFL demands an understanding of player empowerment, social media influence, and marketing realities. Former players have joined the chorus, many siding with Sanders. "If I'm Shedeur, I'm gone. Why waste prime years in dysfunction?" One Hall of Fame quarterback declared bluntly. Behind the scenes, Sanders' camp remains strategically silent in public while actively exploring options in private. Sources say his agent is already fielding calls from multiple organizations monitoring the situation closely. Trade scenarios are being floated, contract implications dissected, and even potential legal remedies considered. The message is clear without ever being spoken: Cleveland needs Sanders far more than Sanders needs Cleveland, and then there's the Gabriel factor, an unwilling participant in this spiraling drama. A third-round selection, he has performed adequately when called upon. His completion percentage is higher than Sanders, his turnover ratio superior, and his grasp of the system more advanced. Yet he lacks Sanders' electricity, charisma, and marketability. Gabriel is the safe choice, the competent option. The boring reality: fans don't line up for Gabriel jerseys. Networks don't build primetime around him. Social media doesn't erupt when he throws a touchdown. He is everything Stefanski values, and nothing ownership has tried to sell. This power struggle extends well beyond the quarterback position. It's a clash of philosophies. Old-school structure versus modern player empowerment, traditional hierarchy against individual expression. Stefanski embodies the former, Sanders the latter. And neither side shows any willingness to compromise. Both sides are convinced they're right, leaving the organization caught squarely in the middle, paralyzed by indecision and bleeding from internal conflict. Privately, insiders whisper what everyone suspects: Stefanski knows his job is finished if Sanders doesn't return. Ownership won't accept losing their franchise cornerstone after pouring so much into marketing, ticket sales, and fan engagement. Yet Stefanski refuses to bend, framing this as a fight for professional integrity. He'd rather lose his job standing on principle than compromise to survive. Admirable in theory, catastrophic in practice. General Manager Andrew Berry is no safer. He drafted both quarterbacks, publicly backed Stefanski, and privately managed ownership, yet now he faces an impossible choice: stand with his coach and risk ownership's wrath, or undermine Stefanski's authority to preserve his own security. Sources say Berry has floated desperate compromises, including a co-starter arrangement with alternating series and specialized packages. But neither camp is interested. Sanders demands unconditional commitment. Stefanski insists on organizational control. There is no middle ground. Of veteran players, watching the chaos unfold in real time, have begun voicing their frustration openly. "We're trying to win games while the circus continues," one defensive captain said. Another respected voice added, "Leadership means making hard decisions. Nobody's leading here. Everyone's protecting themselves." Confidence in the locker room is evaporating, chemistry dissolving, and the Browns' competitive window may be closing before it ever truly opened. The divisional stakes make the collapse even more dangerous. Baltimore arrives Sunday expecting dysfunction. Pittsburgh is watching gleefully. Cincinnati senses opportunity. Opponents are preparing to exploit Cleveland's chaos, with defensive coordinators already designing exotic pressures to attack an unsettled quarterback situation. What the Browns needed most, stability, has instead disintegrated into turmoil. Meanwhile, the media machine is in overdrive. Reporters chasing leaks, former players weighing in, talk shows devoting segments, podcasts breaking down every detail, YouTube creators dissecting body language, and Twitter debates raging nonstop. Within hours, Cleveland has been transformed from playoff contender to reality show. The pressure, scrutiny, and criticism multiply by the minute. The juiciest development came late yesterday. Sources claim several respected veterans, including Pro Bowlers and team captains, went directly to Jimmy Haslam, bypassing traditional channels, to express concerns over Stefanski's leadership. Their message was blunt: resolve this immediately or risk losing the entire locker room. Haslam reportedly assured them a resolution would come within 48 hours. The clock is ticking, and potential resolutions are narrowing. Option 1, Stefanski swallows his pride, apologizes publicly, reinstates Sanders unconditionally, and hopes the relationship can be salvaged. Given his personality and philosophical rigidity, this appears unlikely. Option 2, the organization fully backs Stefanski, trades Sanders, and accepts short-term pain for long-term stability. But Haslam is unlikely to approve after such heavy financial and marketing investment. Option 3, Stefanski resigns, citing personal reasons. An interim coach takes over, Sanders returns triumphantly, and dignity is superficially preserved. Insiders suggest this outcome may be the most realistic. Sanders holds all the leverage. Young, talented, marketable, and social media savvy, he'd be snapped up immediately by teams like Atlanta, Las Vegas, or New York. His brand transcends Cleveland. He doesn't need the Browns, but they desperately need him. Each passing moment strengthens his position and weakens the organization's. Stefanski's supporters warn of dangerous precedent: if a player dictates terms, coaching authority erodes, competitive integrity collapses, and the franchise slides into chaos. Valid concerns, perhaps, but irrelevant in today's NFL, where player empowerment and social media influence are rewriting the rules. League executives are watching closely, viewing Cleveland as a test case for the sport's evolving balance between coaching control, ownership power, player influence, fan engagement, and financial realities. Meanwhile, Sanders trains privately, avoiding the team facility. His social media remains active, filled with workout clips, cryptic messages, and motivational quotes. Every post draws thousands of interactions, fans begging for his return, critics defending Stefanski, and the digital chaos spiraling further. Without saying a word, Sanders controls the narrative. Gabriel, meanwhile, prepares to start Sunday, an unwilling figure in a storm he never asked for. He didn't create this controversy, he merely competed when given chances. Now he faces a hostile crowd, a fractured locker room, and impossible expectations. If he fails, Stefanski's decision looks catastrophic. If he succeeds, Sanders' loyalists will scream conspiracy. It's a no-win scenario for a third-round pick simply chasing his NFL dream. Inside the facility, the atmosphere is described as funeral-like. Players move mechanically, coaches wear professional masks while privately panicking, support staff avoid eye contact, and media relations scrambles to contain a narrative that's already out of control. Everyone recognizes the severity of the crisis. Nobody has solutions. The Browns are paralyzed by a self-inflicted implosion. Former team executives are openly baffled. This franchise finally assembled talent, generated excitement, created hope, then imploded over personality conflicts. Classic Cleveland, one said anonymously. Another warned, organizational alignment is the foundation of a championship. Without it, talent means nothing. They've learned nothing from history. The critical question remains, can this relationship be salvaged? Trust is shattered. Respect evaporated. Communication ceased. Sanders feels betrayed by the very organization that was supposed to back him. Stefanski feels undermined by a player unwilling to accept accountability. Ownership is furious with both sides for putting personal agendas above team success. The toxicity is reaching irreversible levels. If a resolution doesn't materialize within 48 hours, Sanders is expected to explore his options aggressively. Sources say his camp has already identified potential landing spots: teams with strong cultures, supportive coaches, market visibility, and the infrastructure to maximize both his talent and his brand. Everything Cleveland promised, but failed to deliver for Stefanski, this may be the end of the line. His reputation has taken a brutal hit. Players question his leadership. Ownership is losing patience. The media paints him as outdated and stubborn. Future NFL opportunities are fading fast, all sacrificed for a principled stand that no one appreciates, and everyone criticizes. History will not be kind to the Browns. Now stand at a crossroads: choose Sanders, admit coaching mistakes, and sacrifice authority for stability. Or choose Stefanski and watch their marketable young star walk away, accept fan revolt. Risk financial fallout. Or choose neither. Fire everyone, hit reset, and plunge into yet another rebuild. It's the Browns' cycle of dysfunction on full display. No outcome offers relief. The damage is already done, and the scars will shape this franchise for years. This isn't just a quarterback controversy anymore, it's an identity crisis. The modern NFL demands balance between authority, players, and image. Cleveland has failed spectacularly, and now the bill is due. Sunday looms. Baltimore prepares. A national audience waits. The resolution remains unclear, but the chaos is undeniable. A veteran linebacker summed it up bluntly: 12 years, 6 teams, countless controversies, I've never seen dysfunction like this. We're trying to compete while management wages civil war. It's exhausting, embarrassing, unacceptable. That quote captures the reality: a professional football team turned into a reality show. A talented roster wasted on ego clashes. A playoff window closing before it ever opened. A city that deserves triumph handed disappointment again. Will Sanders stay? Will Stefanski survive? Can the Browns recover? Questions multiply, answers vanish. The only certainty: Cleveland created this storm, managed it poorly, and now drowns in its own chaos. When stability was needed most, the Browns delivered dysfunction, because some things in Cleveland never change.